Welcome to Brain Wreck. I'm Jason Axe.
And I'm Kevin Graham.
And this is the podcast where everything goes smoothly 100% of the time.
Is smooth as butter.
As a baby's bottom, as they say.
Bottom.
Which I will say, whoa. Oh, that was a hot mic.
Hot mic drop.
Yep.
I'm getting tanked early tonight, folks.
Yeah, well, we had a whole show planned.
We had a show that was going to be a good return show because we took last week off.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
For reasons we may or may not get into here on this show because we are now short on
content. Whoops.
But yeah, what was I saying? The beer.
Yeah.
I forgot already.
You forgot what happened?
I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, let's explain to the people.
We were going because we've been doing this because we're trying to do more game streaming and we've been doing the WrestleMania challenge,
yes,
which we started last week on Sunday. Not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before.
Right.
We started.
Mm-hmm.
I have scores, by the way, which we'll get into in just a little bit again because we're short on content. Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, you know what we should do? We should maybe do when we come back, we should do our regular show and then add a little gaming in there.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of a bonus.
Yeah, we should.
And we revealed the game that was supposed to be game 3 was going to be the PlayStation Classic WWF Attitude.
Right.
Which is, nobody's favorite game. But it's, it makes sense for the show in some capacity. And we were I came over an hour early.
You sure did.
Which I was like, you know what? We got to get set up early, make sure everything's going great, get it up and running, and then boom, we'll get right into the show and then get right to the shit. Nothing worked.
No, literally.
It's weird worked. Because it has worked before.
And
I've seen it work before because I've had it work for me before.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, the powers to be just wouldn't let this thing come together.
Nope.
So we do not have WWF Attitude for the Sony PlayStation.
No.
For WrestleMania Challenge 3. Well, the third game in the series. Not, this is the only first year we've done it, so it's technically one.
Right.
It's the Mr. T and Hogan edition.
Okay.
So
pity the fool. Watch.
We don't have that tonight. And then we were like, you know what? We got 10 minutes before we go live. Why don't we try to add a different game in?
Right. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties go awry. Shit goes down. Shit goes south quick. Let's throw something else out there.
Right.
Let's at least get close to.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna try because the
old schoolgirl try.
What?
The old schoolgirl try.
What's the old school girl try?
Yeah, you've never heard that?
Please explain.
Well, it's an expression.
I'm sure it's an expression.
Yes.
I don't understand the expression.
Because back in the day, women weren't allowed to go to school. So when they finally were able,
I'm looking this up.
right around the time they got the right to vote, they were like, we want equal rights and shit. And then the men were scoffing like, you inferior beings cannot. Those are not my words, by the way.
I'm sure they're not.
You can try to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the old schoolgirl try.
That's not a thing. It is not a thing.
What do you mean?
You just made that up.
I did not make that up.
You absolutely just made that up.
No, that's
you are a liar.
I've taken
You're
history.
Lying. I don't know if you're on the right side of history.
Well, I didn't say that. I said I've taken a history course.
I see.
Christy, look it up. The facts.
You are full of shit. I agree. I agree with that statement. That is a thing that I agree with.
No, the old schoolgirl try.
That's not a thing.
But we tried anyway.
We tried. It failed. We're moving on. I never really got to finish the last point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we tried to do the second game because I was like, I know this will work. I know it'll work because I did it last week. And it worked flawlessly. Mm-hmm. It's a quick download. We load it up into the program.
Right.
It's just plug in and play. And then we did it, and guess what?
Didn't work.
It didn't work.
Nope.
So
fuck
us, apparently.
Well, there's that, and I think this is a good learning moment.
Is it?
You have to take every disaster in your life and turn it into a learning moment. Otherwise, you're just some asshole that fails all the time.
I suppose.
But if you can turn that frown upside down, what the fuck was that? What is going on?
What are you reacting to right now?
You don't hear the banging? I'm like,
well, I assume that there are people above the studio.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, we do rent this place out. You
Yeah.
know, once a month.
What do you got? We got some ghosts up there?
Oh, maybe. Did you ever go on a ghost hunt?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Anything happen?
It was dumb. It was really dumb. I remember being really dumb.
Okay.
Hang on. I've been trying to post this thing to let people know that we're
All right, well, you post, I'll talk.
Yeah. Get into your story real quick.
Okay, so you have to take everything as a learning moment. So, obviously, this failed, but we're not going to let the fail derail the show.
I thought you were going to talk about the ghost thing.
No, what ghost thing?
What do you mean what ghost thing? You just asked me about ghosts.
Yeah, because you brought up the ghost.
Yeah, I thought that's where you're going to launch into.
No, I'm doing an ethics and morals and shit.
Don't do that.
So you gotta take every failure, put it in your failure jar, shake it up a little bit, and hopefully it'll pour out a success. That's what you got to do.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we now have to completely come up with a show on the fly, which we are currently doing right now and failing.
I don't think so. See, you always say we're failing. Sometimes you just gotta.
You gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them. You gotta know when to walk away.
So I have been on a ghost hunt.
Okay.
See, I walked away.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Did you ever get into that ghost show?
Like personally, or just
it was
like emotionally,
like one of your stories.
What?
Like appointment TV.
What about it?
Did you get into it?
Did I get into a ghost show?
Yes.
Like
Ghost Hunters or Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
That's a stupid movie.
That's a movie. That was kind of a cool movie at first.
Ghost Adventures. There's another one.
I used to watch for like a little while.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, I feel like it's just the same episode.
Well, not only that, but those motherfuckers went for 12 seasons.
How?
12
I mean, weren't they on like the
seasons.
Travel Channel or some shit?
They were on Sci-Fi.
They were not on Sci-Fi.
They were on Sci-Fi.
But weren't they? Then wasn't Sci-Fi like, okay, like one's enough, and then they moved to like. What am I thinking of?
I don't know what the fuck.
Channel?
Travel Channel was Ghost Adventures.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But no, the Ghost Hunters had like 12 seasons and a spin-off show.
Well, you know what?
2 spin-off shows.
At the time, it was like Sci-Fi was still like SCI-FI.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point,
they hadn't matured.
Like,
is what you're trying to say?
They hadn't really matured yet. They were still. I mean, they weren't.
They're on
young.
the vine, ripening a little bit.
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
Their big thing was still like Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, and just like when the bad movies were bad, not like the bad movies that are good.
Ghost Facers.
What
the fuck is that?
That's a thing. That's a reference for like 2 people.
Oh, a joke for 2. Good job, Christy.
A joke for 2. It works in this show.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like they didn't really have content. It's kind of like 5 people watched your show.
Like
that's 4 more people than the show previous.
This show could have been on Sci-Fi.
This show could have been on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, we could have promoted it as good, and that's science fiction, right?
I mean, there's lots of science in here. I gotta talk about some science in a little bit. I do have a story of the week.
Oh, okay.
Which I was going to talk about anyways.
Oh, okay.
But I want to talk about this thing.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my thought.
Well, what thing do you want to talk about?
For the ghosts.
Oh, no, we're done with ghosts.
Oh, okay, we're done with ghosts.
Okay, well, actually, I could segue
Oh.
that into something that has happened to me recently. I was telling you a little bit about it off mic, but we can go into it on mic because we have nothing else to talk about. But, so, I heard a bump in the night.
Oh.
It was more like a squeak.
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
So,
okay.
So it woke me out of a dead sleep, and I heard the squeak, and of course, immediately I thought ghost, and then I'm like, well, ghosts don't really squeak; they kind of go, ooh.
I don't know. It could be a squeaky ghost.
A squeaky ghost?
Who's to say that a ghost doesn't squeak?
I mean, that's fair.
Right?
I don't know. Well, aren't they supposed to be like messages hidden in the white noise? I mean, not to be racist. Or
I mean, I was gonna say I think we just call it noise now.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like a ghost can kind of make whatever noise it wants.
Okay, so anyway, second thought, terrorists.
Wait, what? Let's unpack this.
Yeah.
You heard a squeak.
Yeah.
And your first instinct, I'd say your first instinct was ghost.
Ghosts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can give you that.
Right.
Second instinct, terrorist.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're everywhere, man.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Well, think about it. Like,
I mean, I don't. I don't.
Like, you go out if you're going to go to the mall, right?
Right.
Aren't you eyeballing every motherfucker there?
No.
You're not?
No.
Oh, you're unprepared, sir.
I mean, what do I got to give everybody an ocular pat down?
No, I'm just saying you got to be on your
it's
toes.
It's overwhelming.
Of course it is. That's why I never go to the mall.
That's why you never go outside.
Well, yeah, just stay inside. It's safe. Except if there's terrorists in your walls.
Why would terrorists be in your walls?
Well, okay.
So,
okay. Yeah. So if a bomb drops, hold on, I think I'm low. Okay, there we go. That's better. If a bomb drops, right, and I'm not even like making a toilet reference. If a bomb drops,
okay, because that's where I thought we were going.
The neighborhood's gone, right?
Sure. We'll say yeah. We'll say in this hypothetical, yes.
So, like, I'm always waiting for the bomb to drop.
Okay.
So, there was this one time I was at Disney. Mm-hmm. I was staying at Disney. And middle of the night, we're sleeping. We just had, all day at the goddamn theme parks. My feet hurt. The kids are crying. Well, the kids are sleeping. They were crying all day. Got them a goddamn ice cream to shut them up, that kind of thing, while we were leaving. And then you had to wait for the goddamn bus for 25 minutes. And then you finally get back to your hotel. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. You got to wake up at 6 a.m. the next morning to go to the park the next day, or else you're wasting time, right? So anyway, I'm dead asleep because I was tired. And then I heard the loudest motherfucking boom I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, I have never gone from dead asleep to on my feet out the door.
Okay.
A second and a half. Like, it was that quick. Turns out it was thunder.
Okay, yeah.
But
yeah,
it's
fair.
I would swear a bomb went off.
Okay.
So after that incident,
so you're okay.
That was a what do the kids say?
You were literally woke.
Ha! No, I was gonna say so the squeak I heard that woke me up in the middle of the night. I was triggered by the squeak because of the inciting incident.
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna let that one go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let that one slide.
All right. So I heard the squeak and woke up, and like after I've rationalized, it's not a ghost, most likely. Mm-hmm. We don't know, but you can kind of guess.
Right.
It's probably not terrorists. Mm-hmm. Third option is it's a goddamn bat. And holy shit, do I not want a goddamn bat in my house.
Right.
Because shit everywhere. Once they get in, they can't leave on their own. There's a spider right above your head.
Don't tell me that, man. What the shit? Oh my god. Get away. Get away.
We're live, pal. What the fuck? Yeah, no, that's legit triggered.
Chrissy says, no, I feel like he had it. That's a legit use for triggered. Yes, which is why I kind of let it slide.
Okay.
So I feel like there was more to his use behind it, though.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, I don't want a goddamn bat in my house. Because once they're like once they get here,
they carry rabies.
And they carry rabies. And I saw this fucking terrible documentary from the goddamn 40s about people dying of rabies.
Really?
It was fucking horrible.
Oh shit.
People foaming at the mouth. They're trying to drink water, but their body's like rejecting water, so they just puke it back up, and then they just end up dying. And it's like, why can't you just put a bullet in this motherfucker's head and be done with it? Well, listen, you can't cure it, so like, do him a favor.
Okay.
Listen, if I'm dying of rabies, like, and I'm past the point of treatment, I don't know where we are in medical science as far as the. Like, I know you got to get shots and shit, but
I think the jury's still out on science.
On science,
when it comes to that,
whatever.
So.
I got a story about science later.
Oh, okay.
So, what was it? Rabies?
You were talking about the bat.
The bat, right?
Bat.
I don't want rabies, and I don't want my kids to get rabies either. So that's kind of a deal. But
it's a good parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like, motherfuck. It's middle of the night. We're gonna let it slide, right?
Right.
So the next day, we're like, there's a motherfucking bat in this house. We gotta go. We gotta fucking put on our goddamn EMF detectors, and we're gonna go bat hunting.
That's not what.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ghost hunters, but with bats.
Why would you get an EMF detector?
That's what they detect ghosts with.
But you're detecting a bat.
Okay, so I got my cat.
Okay,
and I was like,
it's a pro way to go.
Right, and I'm like, listen, you motherfucker, you eat for free all the goddamn time, you shit in the goddamn shit sand, and I gotta change it out. Earn your keep.
Earn your keep.
Earn your keep. Go get a goddamn bat. So we go up into the attic because that's where we think it was. Because I swear to Christ, this thing woke me out of a dead sleep, and I thought it was right above my head.
Right.
And, obviously I investigated the room. There was nothing in the room. Right. So the logical explanation to that, it's in the attic above my head, right?
Okay.
So I take the goddamn cat, I throw him up in the attic. give him a 20-minute head start, right?
There you go.
So I didn't, I kind of opened the door, kind of waiting for the cat to come down with the bat in the mouth kind of thing, and he doesn't. I'm like, okay, great. So now I got my flashlight, I've got a fucking net, and I'm like going upstairs.
Yeah.
And I'm like peeking and ducking at the same time, like swatting and shit. No bat.
Okay.
Can't find a bat. So I'm like, fuck. So it's either A, hiding and I can't find it, B, not in the attic and actually in the fucking house, which is like nightmare scenario for me. I mean, I like Batman and shit, but fuck. Or it's in my basement, which I wouldn't think it would be in my basement because when it did squeak, it sounded like it was like right above me. Yeah. So like I think if it was in the basement, it'd be muffled a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I kind of ruled that out. So like I'm going like room to room, like checking up in the crevices, seeing if any motherfuckers hanging there or anything like that. No bat. No bat. So I'm like, fuck. So I had to go to work, come back from work. We had to go out, come back, and it's late. And they're like, okay. So now that we're back, we got to figure this out. And as, we come back from where we were, the house is dark. So right before I'm about to switch on the light, because we just walked into the house, I hear the squeak. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker.
There it is.
This motherfucking bat's somewhere, right? So I'm like, oh, shh, shut up. Shut up. And, of course, the goddamn kids, making so much noise.
Right.
No more squeaking, and the lights are on at this point. We got to put the kids to bed. So the kids go to bed. So me and the wife are like, okay, we're going to get this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Let's sit in the living room. We're going to turn all the lights off in the house.
Yeah.
Everybody else is sleeping. We're just going to sit still until we hear a squeak, and then fucking game on. We're getting this motherfucker. So we sit there. 5 minutes go by. Nothing. 10 minutes go by. Nothing. 20 minutes go by.
Jeez, you're there for a while.
Nothing. I'm like, listen, motherfucker, I got stuff to do. Like, I got reports to write and shit.
Yeah.
Can we, come on. Let's hurry this along. So after about 25 minutes, we say, fuck it, and we got shit to do. So we turn the lights on and stuff. Not 5 minutes after the fucking lights come on, the goddamn cat comes running out of the kitchen with a mouse in its mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, well, but first off, I was like, oh, fuck, it's a mouse.
Right.
But then I was like, oh, fuck, it's a mouse. It's not a bat. That's kind of okay.
It's way better.
And let me tell you something. My wife loves animals.
Sure.
Doesn't matter. I have never seen her move so goddamn fast. She jumped up, snatched the mouse out of the cat's mouth, put it in like a glass jar thing to save it from death.
Wait, it was still alive?
It was still alive. The cat was just fucking with it. So,
because usually like the cats like pounce on them, break their necks, and then just like eat them.
Right? No, my cat's a motherfucker. He's a sadistic fuck.
He's
so
like,
he's
you
gonna,
gotta cook this shit.
He's gonna bat it around a little bit, get it dizzy, and then go. But I'd never seen my wife move so fast. She jumped up, snatched the thing.
Why did she save it?
She cares.
Oh, okay. So, because she's a good person.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. We don't know what that's like here.
Yeah. So she puts a glass on it, and I'm still in the phase of, oh shit, it's a mouse.
Right.
And she's already got the fucking thing trapped, and she's like, get me a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what are you gonna do with a piece of paper? And she's like, I'm gonna slide it under the glass.
Write it a note.
She's like, I'm gonna slide it under the glass and carry the fucker outside. And I'm like, well, a piece of paper's too thin. Like, the fucker's going to eat through the paper.
You need like a piece of cardboard.
And he's going to give you rabies, and then we're right back where we started with the bat. Like, it's a terrible situation. Yeah. So, I was like, oh, what do I got? And I was like, okay, well, here, take this bag and board from my comics.
Oh, and you went with a bag and board?
Yeah, and slip that shit under, right?
That's love.
Well, I mean, that's fast thinking is what it is. Is what I had available.
Okay, so
I'm
trying to put you over there, pal.
Yeah, there's no putting me over in this situation. So, it turns out she snatched the fucker.
Yeah.
Went outside, set him free in the wilderness. He probably got eaten 20 minutes later.
He probably got eaten by like a raccoon 10 minutes later.
Exactly.
But still, a nice gesture.
A nice gesture, like saving shit and what have you.
So you had no bat.
No bat.
At the end of the day.
No bat.
Okay.
We went bat motherfucking hunting, and there was no bat. So there's a PS scene to this fucking Marvel movie. Okay.
Oh, there is. Mm-hmm.
So now that I know that there's no bat, I know that it was a mouse. I'm sleeping like a goddamn baby, right? Yeah. I got no worries, carefree. I know that if anything's gonna go fucking down, I got my homie Mr. Friskers,
Right.
That's gonna take care of some goddamn mices or whatever the case. Mices. So
it's not a word.
I wake up and my kids still think that it was a bat.
Okay.
Because they were asleep. So my daughter comes out and she goes, "Did you get the bat?" Mm-hmm. And I go, "No, it wasn't a bat. Turns out it was a mouse." And she goes, "Oh, is it dead?" And I go, "No, your mother."
Your mother, with a heart of gold,
action and
released it into the wild.
And saved it. And she goes, "Yeah, and I saved the other one too." And I go, "What?"
Oh.
So apparently, while I was zonked out in La La Land, she woke up to more squeaking. And came out, and the cat was fucking around with another goddamn He's a sadistic fuck,
right?
And she saved that one too. So so apparently it's like Sith Lords. It's the rule of two. Like,
is it?
I guess either that or
jeez,
they had babies or whatever the case.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually when there's one mouse, there's more. I actually fought a bat once.
You fought a bat?
Did I ever tell you my bat story?
No.
I was like really high and I fought a bat.
Well, was it a real bat?
Oh yeah, it was a real bat.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear this.
I was not prepared. I was so it was when I was living in my old apartment. Mm-hmm. My roommate had gone to, I don't know what he went and did whatever he does,
right?
Or did. So I was like, I don't know, it was like late at night, and I was like, I'm gonna take a little smoke break for myself, because like I was kind of like I had procured some stuff and
meth.
What?
Meth?
No, it wasn't meth. You dick. And I was like, I think this is how you do it. So it was a learning
First time
process.
caller, long time listener.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, we'll see how this goes. So I had gotten a little high. Well, I had gotten a lot of high. And it was like 10:30. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna like go to bed and like listen to some music, and like just kind of stare at my ceiling because I think that's what stone people do.
Sure.
So like I'm laying there, I'm listening to music. I'm like, all right, enough. So I'm trying to go to bed, and my roommate's dog is sitting at because like where the bedrooms were was like at the top of the stairs, and there's like the small little landing, broke to the bathroom, the office, and then the 2 bedrooms.
All right, now that we got the blueprint.
I got the blueprint, and so the dog usually won't be upstairs if my roommate wasn't there.
Okay.
But he's like, but I can hear him like on the landing, and he's kind of whining, and I'm just like, shut up, dude, like stop.
Mm-hmm.
And like 10 minutes, I'm like, it's going on for 10 minutes. I'm just like, oh, man, the guy's probably gotta go pee. Fuck, man.
Responsibilities.
I'm like, shit. How do I? Okay. And I'm high, so like I'm already trying to process this. So like I open the door and he's sitting there and he just looks bugged out.
Okay.
So I'm like, you and me both, brother.
Right.
So like I walk him downstairs and I let him out in the backyard. I'm like, you go do what you do. And I'm like standing there and like all the lights downstairs were off. And I noticed the curtains for the front bay window were blowing.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh fuck, man, I left the windows open again.
Oh no.
And so like I go over and like I lean through like one side, I shut one, and then like where the curtain splits in the middle, I kind of bat that open, no pun intended. And all of a sudden I just see and I fucking close them, and I literally was just like, what? What?
Can't stop here. We're in back country.
Oh God! I'm like, Dr. Gonzo, turn it the fuck around.
Right.
So I'm like, oh shit. Fuck, man. And like I kind of I'm like, am I freaking the fuck out right now?
Right.
And I'm like, what is this? What is going on? So like I kind of with like my finger just slowly kind of pull back the curtain. And I just hear like I'm like, oh fuck.
This is real.
I'm like, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, okay, think. You can do this. And I'm like, all right, the dog's outside. That's clearly the best place for him right now. So,
okay. I mean, sure.
Like, so I open up. So we had a front porch, which you could like stand in front of the window. So I go out in the front porch and like I turn the outside light on, and I go and I stand in front of the window, and sure enough, there's just like a little bat just hanging on the window. And I must have stood there for like 5 minutes. And I'm just like, fuck, man. How, shit. Okay. Oh, man.
Because this is an obvious solution.
I'm like, we can do this. And I'm like, Kevin, you got this. You can do it. So I go and I grab a broom.
Okay.
Good idea. And I turn the lights on in the apartment because I know bats don't like lights.
We use that method as well.
Yes. So I'm like, he'll probably see the lights and be like, nah, and then like just fly away. And I'm like, okay, the window's already open.
Okay. So all you got to do is push.
Well, yeah. So like the glass window was open on the inside. I can pull up the screen window on the outside. So I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I open up the screen window on the porch and I take the broom and I'm shoving the curtain towards the window.
Right.
And it doesn't fucking work.
Okay.
So I'm like, fuck. So like I'm just like starting to hit it. And I'm like, damn it. And I'm like, maybe if I get it on the other side, I can go in and swipe it out. Like kind of like slap shot style. So I go outside and I can see it still, and it's a little bit higher. So like I try to whack it, and it fucking jets out from the curtain and just starts doing laps around my house.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah. And like, so I've got my front door open, and then I've got just like the storm door closed, and I'm standing there just watching the bat fly around my house, just do laps. And I'm just like, fuck. how do I can't go back in now.
I'm going to have to move.
So, like, and again, like, I'm just standing there, and then, like, my neighbor, like, pulls into his driveway. He gets out of his car, and he's just like, you all right? I'm like, fucking Batman. He's like,
Batman, huh?
all right. And just goes inside. So, like, I'm watching it. It's doing laps. I kind of duck my head in. I'm like, maybe I can. And it's like fucking dive bombing forward. I'm like, nope, not yet. Not yet.
Right.
So now me and the dog are on opposite sides of the house and are in the safest place because we're outside of the house.
Sure.
So I'm watching the bat. He's flying around. He goes around one of the walls and he doesn't come back around.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. Now's our chance. So I go back in the house and I'm like looking around. I'm like looking up in the corners. I'm like, I know bats like corners. I've seen Batman.
Right.
So I'm like looking around, like I don't see him. And I loop around through my dining room. I'm like, I don't see him in the corner anywhere. Not there. And I turn around. And we had this wicker shelving unit.
Okay.
With, like a bunch of shit on it, like board games, like speakers and stuff. I turn around and he's in the unit.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe we got something now.
Okay. Yep.
So, and I'm like, I can't just pick it up and carry it because he's just going to fly away.
Right.
So there's the dog's got a blanket that he sleeps on that's like in the corner. So
sure.
I pick that up and I throw it over the thing.
So he's trapped.
So he's trapped.
Okay.
But he's like kind of freaking out now.
Okay.
Because he's like, you boxed me in, motherfucker. I'm going to fucking get at you.
Don't fence me in.
So, and I'm like, there's room for him to fly out. So what I do is I go grab a bunch of tacks, and I tack the blanket to the shelf.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and I'm like, for you being a high motherfucker, you smart as hell. So I'm like, okay, so now he is trapped inside of this.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right. So I grab it and I rush it out my front door.
Okay.
And my neighbor had come back out, and he's just on his porch. So he's just watching this whole thing go down, and he's just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I'm just like, okay, so pop. I pop all the tacks off. I got my broom in hand. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're gonna do this. And I'm like half in my doorway, and I got the blanket, and I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, and I rip the blanket off and I slam the door shut. So like I'm on the outside. I'm looking, and he's not there. And I go, oh shit. Fuck, is he in the house? Like, did he give me the slip? I'm like, what? I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way, because he was in the thing when he was tacked down, and I heard him make a noise.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, he's got to be here somewhere. So like, I'm kind of like looking around. I don't see him, so like I go back out on the porch. And I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, he's literally not here. But then like the bottom of the shelving unit, there was a box for just like a bunch of beer.
Okay.
Because I had bought a case like 2 weeks prior, and I was like, that's a cool box. I'll put it right here for a little while. And so like I'm kind of like poking at stuff, nothing. I see the box, and I just kind of whack the box in here. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Right.
I'm like, all right.
At this point, you're like,
I'm
you're like Michael Keaton. You're like, you want to get nuts?
Yeah. At this point, I'm like,
let's
okay,
get nuts.
We can fucking do this. So I got to get at least the shelf back into the apartment. Because it's got a bunch of stuff on it. So, and I'm like, he's in the box. He ain't gonna fucking do shit when he's in the box. You know, I'm like, fuck him.
You don't put Batty in the corner.
Yeah, you put Batty in the fucking box. Stays in the fucking box.
Right.
So I kind of like with the broom, I kind of like grab around the back of the box, and I kind of slap shot it out, and it like flies out of the shelving unit, and it spins, and then like where it spins, like there's the hole for like where the handles are, and motherfucker just crawls out and is like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Fucking flies out at me. I scream and fucking whack the thing with the broom, because he's coming straight for my face. So I got a deadline shot at this point. Boom, whack him. He takes a big ass bump on the porch, and he's there like wings spread. I'm just like,
And sweep him out.
I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, that's what you get. So I go over, and yeah, I'm like, well, now I got a dead bat on my fucking porch, so I got to do something with it. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll just kind of slap shot him up and over, let the fucking raccoons take him.
Right.
I take 2 steps towards him. Motherfucker's playing possum.
Oh.
Jumps up, starts flying at me again. I take 1 swing at it. I whack it. It like spins out through like the gap where like the porch and the roof are, and just fucking flies away.
Wow.
At that point, I'm just like, fucking.
So at what point do you realize the bat's not real?
No, the bat was real because we ended up getting another bat another time. I was sober that time. Still a bitch and a half to fucking deal with.
Exactly, which is why I was glad it was a mouse.
Yes,
and not a bat. Now you said something that I can piggyback off of that to tell you my science story.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
So I'll start to tell my science story, and then I will share. I mean, it'll be pretty obvious as to where the connection is. But
all right.
So I currently am enrolled in college.
You are going to school.
Going to school, trying to better myself,
trying to get a higher education,
trying to get more money is what I'm trying to do. Come on, it's tough out there.
As somebody who has been there, just know that it takes a while.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I'm doing it all online.
Right.
Right. But part of the requirements for your degree is that you need a biology.
Okay.
And you need a lab.
Okay.
Associated with that. Well, how the fuck are you supposed to do a lab online?
Right.
Turns out you can. You have to buy a lab kit.
Yeah.
So, as part of the gimmick, you buy a lab kit, which has like fucking.
Computer just. This is the show where everything breaks.
Par for the fucking course.
I cannot communicate with anybody who might be trying to reach out to us at this time, so you know.
Fucking hell.
Go, you know.
So anyway,
You're taking a lab.
so I'm taking a lab, but you had to buy this lab kit,
Right.
And like in it's got like some fucking like beakers and Bunsen burners, and there's like an owl pellet in there and shit. So one of the things we're doing right now is they're testing like the acidity of soil, right?
Okay.
Now, this college that I'm going to is based out in Missouri, okay? I'm in New York. What they wanted you to do was they wanted you to go outside and take a look at all the organic specimens and shit. It's fucking New York in the middle of March.
Right.
Like, everything's frozen. Like, there's nothing to do, basically. But luckily, but unluckily, depending on which way you want to look at it, we've had a couple of warmer days.
Yeah.
And things have kind of thawed out a little bit. Problem is, things are rather muddy out there, right?
Bunch of mud.
So the idea is that you're supposed to take 4 tent stakes, put them in the ground to make a 1 meter area, like a big block that's 1 meter, right?
Okay.
So I'm out in my backyard and I'm doing this, right? And I'm fucking knee deep in shit. Like, it's fucking muddy. My dog's been out there all winter. Nothing's been cleaned up yet because everything's just like, it's just a fucking mess, right? And I'm out there fucking putting tent stakes in the goddamn ground, doing like a string around them so that I have tarped up my area. While I'm in the middle of doing this, right? My fucking neighbors,
Right.
and this is the connection,
Okay.
come out because they're smokers and they go out on their back porch to smoke. And they look at me and like, I know they're there, but I'm not going to acknowledge them.
Right.
Like at all until they go like, hey there.
Ah.
And I'm like,
Howdy ho, neighbor.
exactly. And I'm like,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? Well, they didn't even say that. They're just, they're just like, it was like, hi. And I'm like, hi. And they're just like, yeah, spring's coming soon, huh? And I'm like, yeah. I'm going to go back to doing what I'm doing.
Just completely no-sold them.
Basically no-sold them. And I looked like a goddamn psychopath.
Right.
Putting tent stakes in there.
Yeah.
Doing a thing around it. Taking a picture of it because you got to submit the picture. Getting down on like my hands and knees and scraping up some of the dirt and putting it in a plastic bag for analysis and shit. And I'm just like, fuck me, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've only lived in this house for what, like 4 years?
I think 4 or 5 years.
And like, we've done some stuff already where the neighbors are kind of like, oh, what the fuck? You know, we have like the big inflatable
Right.
movie screen and like shit like that. But man, like, and that's kind of the thing. Do people try to be friends with their neighbors anymore?
I know, I sure don't.
Well, me neither. But the wife does.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, is like she's actually good friends with not the next door neighbors, but the neighbors down the street.
I think it really depends. In your case, it'd make a little bit more sense, because you're in a neighborhood. It's like a suburban area. You know, like you've got families and stuff like that. Like where I live, it's like not the case. I mean, like I'm sure there are people we could probably connect with. Like I talked to like the guy that lives across the street a couple of times, and he's like a cool guy. You know, my neighbors to my left are a couple of assholes.
Right.
Like my neighbor to the right, I'm pretty sure like sells pot out of his apartment, and there's like an old lady that lives below
good.
him.
You can see more bats.
I can. Hey, if I ever need to see a bat, I know where to go.
Exactly.
You know, and I told my neighbors downstairs to shut the fuck up the other night, or I'm going to call the fucking cops on them. Because that's like a whole thing.
Right.
So I mean, I think it really just depends on the location.
Location.
It's always about the location.
Now, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Now, we can maybe get into this discussion because we still got fucking 15 minutes to go.
Well, I also still had a story of the week.
Oh, okay.
But go. I have a story of the week, and there's an update we have to get.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make this quick.
So go ahead. Yeah.
You are.
I am.
You're in a different life situation than myself.
I am.
Do you find the need, the want, the necessity to own a home?
Right now?
Correct.
No.
Eventually?
I mean, at some point in my life, I'd be like, yeah, I want to own a home.
Mm-hmm.
Not like anytime soon.
You know, clock's ticking there, brother.
Hey, man, my watch says it's only 9:18. There's still plenty of time to go, brother.
All right, go ahead with what you got.
That was it?
Yeah.
Okay. We're not going any more insightful than that.
No,
so you were talking about science, which I thought tied in greatly with our story of the week this week, which I was going to go discuss on my laptop, bring up some charts and graphs and pictures, but fucker died on me. So anyways, this might be a little old to some, but maybe new to some others.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming to us from motherboard.com. But Flat Earther survives rocket launch. Earth still round.
Wait, what? You have to explain this one.
So, after months of cancellations, the Flat Earth stuntman, Mad Mike Hughes, finally launched himself in his homebrew steam-powered rocket Saturday afternoon. Hughes made it to an altitude of 1,875 feet and reached peak velocity of 350 miles per hour before
he built his own?
He built his own rocket.
Jesus Christ.
Before deploying the rocket's parachute and returning to terra firma. The $20,000 rocket was emblazoned with Research Flat Earth and partly crowdfunded by the group of the same name. It was launched from a rail attached to the back of a modified mobile home. So,
of course it was.
Long story short, and I kind of did some reading prior to this because I was reading prior to him launching himself, but he's a flat earther.
Okay.
So he thinks the earth is flat.
Right.
Spoiler alert, it's not.
Right.
So his goal was to launch himself as high as he could, probably into outer space.
To prove it.
So that he could take a picture of the earth to prove that it's flat.
Right.
He did not get as far as I believe he intended, and I think he got pretty fucked up coming down too.
Well, I can imagine.
Let's see. As seen in a video of the launch, everything seemed to go according to plan. Hughes' main parachute deployed at the highest point in the rocket's trajectory, although he had to deploy the second chute on his way back down to slow the rocket's descent. Upon landing, the rocket nose's cone split into two places as planned. Am I glad I did it? Yeah, I guess.
Right. That's what you say when you put on, like, this fucking podcast. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
But not when you fucking launch yourself into goddamn space.
The 61-year-old Hughes told the Associated Press,
well, I mean,
I'll feel it in the morning. I won't be able to get out of bed. At least I can go home and have dinner and see my cats tonight.
This guy.
The launch took place outside of Amboy, a ghost town bought by the owner of the Juan Palo chicken chain in 2005. It's located in the Mojave Desert, about 150 miles from Los Angeles, and the headquarters of SpaceX, which has technically launched fewer humans on its own rockets than Hughes has at this point. Fucking taking SpaceX to task.
All right.
Saturday's launch was the second survived by Hughes back in 2014. He launched himself on his first steam-powered rocket to an altitude of about 1,300 feet. That launch resulted in Hughes collapsing after landing and needing several days to recover, more than likely around his cats. So,
okay.
Like, on one hand, I'm like, you know.
So has he changed his mind?
I don't think it's really gone into that yet.
Okay.
Let's see. So, but unfortunately for Hughes, his stunt contributes little to the flat Earth debate. See, this is the thing I think a lot of the flat Earthers run into.
Right.
Is they're like, the Earth is flat, the Earth is flat, the Earth is flat. Well, why do you think that? Because of all this stuff. Well, can you prove it with science? I don't need to believe in science. Like, that's actually one of the things this guy says. He's like, I don't believe in science.
Well, then how did you fucking launch yourself?
I believe in aerodynamics and shit. And he's like, it's all just formulas. And I'm like,
that's science, bro.
Oh, okay. We'll go with that. I'll give him that.
You give him an inch, they'll take a mile.
I mean, because here's the thing. Motherfucker built his own rocket.
That's fair.
And launched himself into the sky.
That's
so,
fair.
like, I'll give him a little bit of a credit. But this is the thing I see with a lot of the flat earthers is they hope and dream. But it's like, okay, well, prove it. And they're like, we will. Someday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay.
Shut the fuck up till then.
But you won't. Like, you know, because they say shit like, oh, well, we don't need science to prove it. It's like, well, if you want to prove it, it's like based on science.
There's something called the scientific method. You may want to explore a little bit.
Right. But, you know, I mean, again, on one hand, I'm like, dude's fucking nuts because, you know, clearly he believes in some shit that's not true.
Right.
But on the other hand, like, dude built his own fucking rocket and went into the fucking sky. So,
okay.
I'm kind of, you know, he gets part of a cheers for that.
Okay.
So,
all right, that's fair. So we're gonna end the show.
No,
with,
we're not.
With a points update.
There we.
I was gonna.
Oh yeah.
I was leading
so the points are on the key on the laptop. I was gonna do an update on your bike.
Oh, okay.
And your fitness goals.
Okay.
How are they going?
Not good.
Oh. Well, is the bike? Have you bought the bike yet?
No.
Why? What is going on?
I'm waiting for it to go on sale.
Wait, it's okay. So Bike Watch 2018.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling this segment.
Yeah. So
it's
now
still
hold on.
Oh, I will.
So there is a specific bike from a specific store that I have been eyeballing. That is the one I am waiting for.
Right.
However, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you go and get yourself an orange. Because as it turns out, the major toy store chain Toys R Us is going out of business. Business, as to say. So they have marked everything down.
They have.
At the store. Currently, the sale, last I checked, which is over the weekend, things were marked to 10 to 30% off.
Okay.
And let me tell you, the only thing that was goddamn 30% off was their greeting cards. Everything else in the store was 10% off.
Oh, yeah. Like, they're still going to try to get the money.
Right. So the idea is that, well, maybe if the discount becomes good enough and they have some available, I'll get a bike from there.
Because they sell pretty decent bikes.
Yeah, they sell Schwinn and like some Mongoose and whatever the case may be. But so I'm like, okay, I'm still holding out for the one that I actually want, which is from Target. And I've been checking like a motherfucker. Like anytime I found websites that post the next week's catalog. Yeah. And I've been like flipping through pages like, come on, the fucking bike, right? I got the helmet. Fuck. So I've been waiting.
Right.
But I think next weekend I'm going to go back to Toys R Us, see what they got, see what the discount is, that kind of thing. A buddy of mine went and bought his kid a bike, right?
Right.
10% off the bike, which is, it's okay. It's not terrible. I mean, if it's a $200 bike, you're getting $20 off.
Yeah.
So, it's not a bad thing. Apparently, when he got up to the register, they tried to charge him an assembly fee.
What, for it already being put together?
Yes.
Oh, fuck that.
And he's just like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, it's a $30 assembly fee. And he's like, okay, so hold on, let's back it up a little bit. So you're telling me you motherfuckers are going out of business.
Right.
You marked this 10% off, which is going to save me $20, but then you're going to charge me $30, so I'm paying $10 more than the actual fucking price of the thing. And he's like, I'm not buying this. And they're like, well, I guess we could waive the fee. And he's like, okay, well then I'll buy it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what sons of bitches?
I wonder why they went out of business.
Well, I mean, from an insider perspective, which is this guy who used to work there, they didn't really know what their inventory was too well. So
so a couple people taking those 5-finger discounts?
Well, not only that, but like you go in the stock room and like say if they have a candy section, right? So like at the front of the store,
right.
the cash registers of the candy, so they would get like a big box of the candy. Well, back in the way back where they've got like the place where they actually assemble the bikes, that box of candy has a fucking box cutter in the middle of it, sliced open, and it's just free game for everybody.
Oh my God.
Nobody gave a fuck, basically. So that is why, and plus Amazon, but that is why
Amazon.
The shit's gone downhill. The reason this show's gone downhill is technology.
Because fucking technology is bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Technology is what brings us to you, but it's also what completely ruined. I won't say it ruined this episode. I had a good time.
It was fun. We talked about bats.
We talked about bats.
Yeah.
And that time I got high.
Okay, so let me ask you this. We're going to go out on this question right here. What do you think was a better job of Robin Williams as Batty from Fern Gully or the Genie?
The Genie.
The Genie?
Genie.
I don't know. They had the bat rap.
I will get heat for this, but I didn't like Fern Gully.
Wow. You best be coming home with some flowers,
I'm gonna sleep on the couch tonight.
Hopefully there's no bats.
Just a couple cats.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to get the fuck out of here. If you do want to tell us how terrible the show was, to give us some advice about how to actually get some shit to work, you can hit us up on Facebook at Brainwreck Show.
Yes, find us on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch.
You're getting heat, bro.
Oh, those are angry faces at me, folks. So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. Now we are also streaming on Twitch. So
we're twitching.
So follow us on Twitch.
I'm twitching. Come on now.
We want to do more on Twitch. So this fucking guy, man. I tell you. We want to do more on Twitch. So please be sure to follow us there as well as on YouTube. You can now get to the YouTube by going to a very simple URL, which is just brainwreck.net.
Boom.
Boom. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And watch out for bats.
And maybe you'll see a better show. For this week, I'm Jason X.
Why? No. This is a great show. This is great. You people are wonderful. Did you do your sign off?
Yeah. I'm waiting for you.
I'm Kevin Graham.
And this has been Brainwreck. Fuck. Ah!